Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is another Jimmy High Roller reaction. I've not done many of his videos recently, but I do really, he's one of my favourite content creators. Not just basketball, not even just sport. I genuinely just think he's one of my favourite content creators on YouTube, because I mean I've watched his videos more than most people currently. I'd say basketball is probably my most watched thing on YouTube. Even when I consider the YouTubers that I watch, etc., it's just something for me. I'm really enjoying learning about the sport, and I'm really enjoying seeing the deep details about it. And this title is who is the hardest player to guard according to NBA players. This is one I'm interested in, and I say that a lot. I do. That's probably what I'm known for, saying, oh, I'm interested in this. But seeing the opinions of top athletes, top professionals, is something that I'm very interested to see. And is there going to be bias behind it? Is Harden going to have a bias against a certain player, saying he's not going to choose him, and just things like that? I assume it's going to be current players, but maybe it's going to be players from the past as well. I'm not too sure. Just let's get into it and see who has the opinion and which player gets talked about as the hardest to guard. Because I assume it's the guarding is the defense. Guarding is defensive, and it's trying to stop them from scoring at the end of the day. But yeah, let's get into this quickly. Link my Twitch. I've said this a lot, but links in the description if you're interested in seeing live streams, etc. I'm going to start very, very soon. But yo, if you're interested in that, you know what to do. But let's get into this from Jimmy Harden, man. Let's see another banger that he's got. Let's see what this is about.
The title of hardest player to guard is a very prestigious and difficult status to achieve. But who exactly?
I assume it's going to be. It may be the smaller players, maybe because they're so quick, and for someone who's tall to keep up with someone who's so quick on their feet, it must be a lot harder. But maybe it's just going to be. I'm not too sure.
Hardest player to guard in the NBA, according to NBA players.
Come on, man. Let's see what this is about. Another banger, man. I love this guy's channel so much.
Jimmy. And when I say hard to guard, who comes to your mind? James Harden, Kevin Durant, or maybe Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Zaza Pachulia? But as fans of the game, we can only speculate who really is the hardest to guard. NBA players, on the other hand, guys that have been humiliated, dunked on, and gotten their ankles shattered, can speak from experience. So I was curious, when it comes to guys who actually have to step up and take on some of the most impossible to guard players in the world, who do they consider to be the most difficult player to guard? So I dug around the internet and found some answers that may come to no surprise, and some that may leave you in disbelief. Now, I narrowed down the criteria to only current NBA players because recently the title of hardest to guard isn't quite as clear-cut as it once was. In the past, this answer would be pretty concise. Wilt, Jordan, Iverson, Kobe, maybe Shaq.
Okay, I see that.
It seems like each and every year, buckets have become easier and easier to come by. Teams are scoring over 130 points every other night. Defense doesn't seem to be a priority, and offenses are just getting better and better. But who possesses the skills to do virtually whatever he wants on the offensive end? Well, let's take a look at what NBA players really think. According to Ben Simmons, LeBron James is the hardest player to guard in the entire NBA.
I assume LeBron's going to be number one overall, but maybe I'm wrong. But that's my prediction. LeBron's going to be overall. People are going to say he's the hardest to guard.
LeBron is the toughest player I've gone up against, for sure. At first, I didn't know what to expect. He's strong, but how strong can he be? He's quick, but how quick can he be? Then I realized he's really strong,
exceeded expectations, yeah.
Fast. Recently, Jimmy Butler did an interview with Chris Haynes and had very high praise for Kevin Durant. Saying KD is the toughest player to guard in the entire league.
Who's the hardest cover in the league for you?
Man, I think a lot of people agree with me by saying KD's just tough. KD's
length and everything.
God, what you want him to do, he's athletic. He can shoot. He can dribble. He can post up, shoot the three.
Speaking of Kevin Durant, one of the most lethal offensive players we've ever seen, Durant did a Q&A on his YouTube channel and said that Kobe Bryant was the hardest matchup he's ever
rest in
faced.
peace, of course.
What's
man.
even more impressive
that says a lot, though, doesn't it? I mean, for KD to say that.
Is that KD has a good 5 inches on Kobe and still dreaded guarding him. But I've come to expect nothing less from the Black Mamba. Jason Tatum says that Klay Thompson is the toughest player to guard. But I guess when you can score 60 points in 29 minutes, it's pretty tough for anyone to guard you.
Oh, was that against
Mitchell
him?
Says that James Harden is the toughest player he's ever had to guard, saying just when you think you got him, 5 seconds on the shot clock, you assume he's going to hit a 3, and somehow he creates 5 feet.
He just does a step back. His step, I love how he does it. I mean, that's what he's known for, isn't it? I remember learning about that like early into my basketball reactions, that Harden's just known for his step backs, and from what I've seen, man, he does it, and people should expect it, but just the way he does it, I don't know how, he just finds space, like he said, he just sort of does an absolute madness and scores or gets past them.
Kyrie Irving, a man that can make the NBA's best defensive players
look
like they've
Harden
never stepped on a basketball court before, says that it is none other than Tony Parker that gave him the toughest time.
Oh, the guy from Spurs, yeah.
Had to defend.
With like Tim Duncan, etc.
Man, at one point it was Tony Parker, and he was just unbelievable, you know? Like, and I'm not saying he's not still unbelievable now, but like TP was just kicking my butt, you know? And you know, when you have someone like that, that's a championship winner, you know, just being able to play for his country, do the things that he's done for not only his country but for the game of basketball, it was just like I was just a big fan. And when you get your butt kicked like that, then you want to come back and really show him.
He seems inspired by him, to be
fair. The toughest player he's ever had to guard was James Harden. He's the best offensive player I've ever seen. Seriously. He can drive, he can shoot, he can handle the ball. It's going to be a tough night for anyone guarding him. I don't care who you are. Recently, Carmelo Anthony hasn't been getting the respect he has rightfully earned over his NBA career. But according to Andre Iguodala, Melo is actually the toughest player he's ever had to guard.
You know, Melo's one of the hardest guys for me to guard. I mean, I would pick him as the hardest guy to guard.
Because he can take it to the basket, right?
That's why. Quick first step, but you have to respect his mid-range jump shot. It's kind of like pick your poison. You know, he's gonna get to the line, he's gonna get to the hole. He has a shot that he's.
John Wall says that Kyrie Irving is the toughest player he's ever had to
guard,
guard, saying that
so
he
quick.
is, quote, the best one-on-one guard, hands down. One of the more interesting takes on this topic comes from James Harden when he said that Joellen Bead is the toughest player to guard. Offensively,
I mean, I guess because he's so tall,
he's the most skilled big man we have in this league. Shooting the 3 at a high level, 7'2", finishing around the basket, making plays for his teammates, and then defensively, he can block shots. He's everywhere. You just can't guard him. Getting this type of praise as a center from a combo guard and reigning MVP makes this take all the more impressive for Embiid. Klay Thompson, a guy that strikes fear into many of the NBA's best defensive players and just happens to be one of the best defenders at shooting guard, says that Kyrie Irving is the best player he's
Kyrie
ever
Irving with another one, okay.
Saying,
I should have probably predicted him because I know he's so wavy with the way he plays. He's like in certain like moments he's unstoppable. For me personally, he's just because he's so quick, and maybe this is back in the day because people have opinions on him now. It's a bit different, possibly, but the way he plays for me is naughty.
I'm happy
man.
I don't have to check Kyrie Irving anymore. That's for sure. That guy is tough. If Klay Thompson is happy he doesn't have to guard you anymore, you know
yeah,
you're cold.
True that.
Another player that has proven himself to be solid on the defensive end is Avery Bradley. Bradley agrees with Klay and many other NBA players that Kyrie Irving is the toughest man to guard in the entire league. And according to Bradley, the difference between Kyrie and the next offensive threat is, quote, not even close. While in an interview on a podcast called Open Run, LeBron James was asked who is the toughest player to guard in the NBA. LeBron's answer, Carmelo Anthony, saying he possesses every skill to score the basketball. And, well, I can definitely see where LeBron is coming from, considering Melo had a 10-year stretch where he averaged nearly 30 points against LeBron and his squad. Jay Crowder was asked by a young fan who he thought was the toughest player to guard in the entire NBA, and his response is fairly predictable.
Probably Kevin Durant, probably, because he's so tall. I know. Yeah, I'm with you. But yeah, he's so tall. He's 7 feet tall. He moves just like me. He can shoot over me. He has all the tools on the offensive end that a player would like to have, and he's one of the best shooters in our league. And that's
my prediction so far is completely off with LeBron.
Every time, of course, I can go down the line with a lot of great players, but he's one of the toughest.
Derrick Rose gave high praise to his fellow former MVP when he said that he believes LeBron James is the toughest player he's ever played.
Will I eat my words
in
now?
fact, Rose almost seemed shocked that this was even a question.
I think the toughest guy to guard is LeBron. You already know the way that he plays. He's like a big point guard out there, blocking shots, just playing aggressive. Like he's usually the most aggressive guy when he steps on the court.
That's why I love him, because of his aggression, man. It's so like
said that
insane to watch.
was the toughest
Curry's first. I'm shouting now.
You know, I don't have to guard him, but I think Stephen Curry, dribble, pass, shoot, so he keeps you off guard.
Which is a testament to Curry's skills on the offensive end, considering Millsap doesn't even have to guard him. Now you know you're nice when a player who doesn't even have to guard you wants nothing to do with you on the defensive end. Victor Oladipo agrees with Millsap in saying that Stephen Curry is the toughest player to guard. What makes him so hard to guard is his uncommon ability to shoot from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
He can hit from absolutely anywhere. Like many other
Gotta be
players,
on your feet
Josh Hart has
100%
had
of the time,
nightmares
man.
about James
Any
Harden.
wrong move with Curry, and yeah, you're living to like regret it, right?
Like many other players, Josh Hart has had nightmares about James Harden's offensive
Harden again.
abilities. In fact, he's not only positive that James Harden is the toughest player he's ever had to guard, he suggests reaching out to a higher power if a player happens to get caught guarding the reigning MVP.
Hardest to guard is James Harden, by far. I mean, I guarded LeBron, I guarded KD. James Harden is the most skilled. He's very smart. You better just pray to God he doesn't get the ball. That's what you should do when you.
It's interesting to see the
According to
differences
JJ
in
Redick,
opinions.
Manu Ginobili is the toughest player he's ever had to
Ginobili, man.
guard,
What
saying
a player.
he'd play like 28 minutes a night, but he'd average about 20 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. He was a monster. Stephen Curry isn't much.
Yeah,
of a
that's what I found insane about him, because he from what I heard in a previous video, a very recent video, he never used to start. He used to always come on. And the fact that he was still so effective after not like playing as many minutes as the average player just goes to show, man.
Defensive presence, but just like many other players in the league, the title for the toughest player he's had to guard goes to James Harden. In an interview, Curry was asked if he'd rather guard Westbrook or Harden. At first he wasn't sure, but later said Harden would be the tougher matchup, and the toughest matchup for him in the entire NBA. Even crazier, this interview was 2 years ago, before Harden won League MVP and solidified himself as one of the greatest ISO players we've ever seen. When asked who he thought was the toughest player to guard in the NBA, All-Star guard Kemba Walker said he thinks it is Russell Westbrook. He can score in so many different ways.
He's so quick.
Post up, fast break, pull ups. He's ultra aggressive, tough to guard. No one can stop him one-on-one.
I love Westbrook's
It takes a
style
whole
of play
team
so
effort.
much, man.
Miles Turner, like many other bigs, considers DeMarcus Cousins to be the most deadly threat on offense. He's a very versatile big who does a little bit of everything. He's so big and strong. One-on-one, it's hard to guard him. It takes a village to guard that guy. You can't just do it with one person. Like many other players, CJ McCollum said the toughest player he's ever had to guard was Stephen Curry.
Okay.
He's special. He's got
a late comeback.
Serious.
Wait, so Harden's on 4, I think Curry's on 3?
That coordination, ability to shoot from 30, 40 feet. He's revolutionizing the game with his range and ability to score in bunches.
To add to this list of players, Myers Leonard has no doubt that DeMarcus Cousins is the toughest player to guard. Jamal Crawford said Dwayne Wade. Thabo Sefolosha said LeBron James. Pascal Siakam said Kevin Durant. Danny Green also voted for Kevin Durant as the toughest player to guard. Larry Markkinen said LeBron James. And Michael Carter-Williams believes that Russell Westbrook gave him the most trouble. But of all the opinions I gathered, none was more surprising than that of Los Angeles Clippers power forward Mike Scott. A few years back in an interview, Mike said that it was none other than David West who was the toughest player he's ever had to guard.
Personally, me, I'll say either Carmelo or David West.
What?
I'm guessing this is like a meme, because honestly, I've never even heard of the name David West, because my knowledge is still so new. I'm guessing he's like a player from like the early 2010s, but seeing the meme with this, I guess his opinions laughed at.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay.
Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
So, all in all, that's 30 opinions from some of the NBA's best players. We got some input from all positions and, for the most part, a wide variety of answers. Now, this is a very polarizing question. Hardest to guard. Well, That depends. Ben Simmons and Klay Thompson are extremely different players, but both are tough to defend. For example, take Gary Payton, arguably one of the best perimeter defenders the game has ever seen. In his 17 years in the NBA, and of all the players he's ever had to defend, he said that John Stockton was the toughest player to guard. Gary Payton has had to match up with the likes of MJ, Kobe, and Reggie Miller. Yet it was Stockton, a guy who has never averaged more than 17 points per game in his
I'm guessing it's just experiences from the games
they
they played against each other then, yeah.
Again, who a player considers to be toughest to guard is very subjective. Are you trying to stop them from creating for their team? Trying to stop them from getting inside and breaking down the defense piece by piece? Or are you trying to not get a 40 bomb dropped on your head? So, out of 30 votes, the top 3 players were LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, all tied with 4 votes. Which is interesting because they are all such different players. They all offer their own set of skills that make them so impossible to guard. Big and fast, skilled and crafty, long and accurate. Now, the sample
my prediction about smaller players was also wrong. It was also wrong.
Very large, but it was actually pretty tough finding these answers to such a simple question. But then again, I guess as an NBA player, you really wouldn't want the world knowing who has gotten the best of you. What does the league as a whole have to say about the topic? Well, in 2017, Russell Westbrook received the Hardest to Guard award by the National Basketball Players Association. In 2015, 24 players were surveyed on the topic, and of the 24 votes, 15 of them went to Stephen Curry. A few years ago, when asked about the subject in particular, Kobe Bryant had no hesitation in saying that KD was the toughest man on the planet to guard. Kevin Durant, that was the one I retired without being able to figure out how I can stop him. So, after giving all this information, who exactly is the hardest player in the league to guard? Well, according to some of the NBA's most elite, it's either LeBron, Harden, or Durant. But then again, according to other players, it's Westbrook or Curry. Ask a different sample group and they might say Kyrie or Cousins. So, what do you all think? Would you rather be broken down and blown by, sized up and still feel helpless, bulldozed and humiliated, or backed down and dunked on? You've got some options, but unfortunately, all will lead to your inevitable demise. Let me know in the comments below.
And it may have changed actually, because when was this video made? Like, for example, maybe some people nowadays would say Giannis, and just like because there's new players now playing, because opinions change all the time, but. This is a very interesting video because I'm always down to learn like the opinions of professional players, and these are all like the best of the best players currently. So I mean, you can't argue with their opinions, but again, like Jimmy said, it depends on which group of players you're asking, because certain players may all say Curry or Westbrook, but then another certain amount of players will say like LeBron or KD, etc. So it's all down to opinions. At the end of the day, none of this is like definitive. It's just opinions, but it's interesting to see the opinions like that. Wait. So Kobe thinks KD's the hardest to guard, and KD thinks... Oh no. Stop using that Illuminati stuff. First of all, what is James Harden doing guarding Joellen Bead? Yeah, because James is mean for his defending, right? Oh no. It's always James Harden memes in the comments. I love it. Who's the hardest player to guard? Giannis joined the group. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm on about. Because nowadays, I would be intrigued to see how opinions would change now that Giannis has came into the league. Because he is an absolute freak, man. That guy is disgusting. But yo, I really enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And once again, I know it's a bit outdated, so some people it's probably going to get a few dislikes because people think this will sway my opinion. But I take all these videos with a pinch of salt. At the end of the day, I know nothing's definitive. And it's a bit of an older video, so certain opinions may change, but it's still quite interesting to see these kinds of things. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and until next time, like, subscribe, peace.